Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to an episode of the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. I'm the host, known all around this living room as the Dude 250, Nikki D. We're hanging out, as always, with the rest of the DUDEPOOL crew. We got Taylor Sager, Aliens Exist, kicking it in the chair next to me.
Hello.
There he is. And we got Danny Pelio, the eye in the sky, the master man with the funky-ass plan. Hanging out, Dan. What's up, Brutal Nature?
I'm up above you guys. What you gonna do about that, bitch? I don't know.
I just held my hand over
you.
your face, and I was inside of you for a second. That's what I did about it.
I wonder what face I was pulling
when
you did that. Do it again right now. Let's just do one more time.
I'm wiggling my fingers.
That sounds gross.
Okay, I'm out.
Okay.
Whoa.
That'll be interesting.
Okay. We've devolved into a sex channel now.
Wow.
Guy-on-guy relations, fisting, and all of that.
And now we need a green screen.
Gave him a minivan, 2 in the front, 5 in the back.
Two guys at the same time.
It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, we are back once again to talk about video games, not butt stuff. And today's topic is brought to you by Taylor Sager.
A minivan? Really?
A minivan. 2 in the front, 5 in the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about...
Shocker's too old school. 2002, you know?
I wanted to talk about first-person shooters instead of minivans or shockers, in fact. Yeah, we've got a plethora of first-person shooters that came out this year or coming out this year.
And every year.
And they're all changing. They're all going crazy. They're trying to do their own things.
That's right.
I just wanted to talk about FPS games in the past, present, possibly even in the future, and just kind of go over what we love about that genre, essentially.
Cool.
Cool.
So let's start with Danny. Danny, what is your favorite first-person shooter?
Oh, did you just do that to me?
Yeah.
Time
Done.
Splitters 2.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, we already talked about it. That's
what
great.
else
That's
do you
a
want to
good
know,
shout-out.
motherfucker?
I don't know. What's your favorite? Why do you like Time Splitters 2, Danny?
Well, I mean, that's probably my favorite genre because it's so immersive. Like, you are that person, you're holding that gun, and it's just, I like that. You're in the action at all times, and I like that. So why do I love Time Splitters 2? Right place, right time, right age. You know, it came along. I had the friends for the split screen at the time. It ticked all the boxes for me. It was a really good looking game. It played beautifully. The maps were great fun. It had a really fun like single player component as well. And that was my jam. I loved that game. I thought it was really great. No crosshairs in that game either. You had to actually have a bit of skill to aim and to hit your target, which was cool upon reflection. But I mean, this genre in general is just, like I said, it's so immersive. When it's done well, for me personally, there's nothing else that kind of comes close to it for that level of immersion. But I mean, there's been some absolute gems that I've played that probably my most memorable kind of experiences are, at least among the top ones. Obviously, there's like other things. I suppose God of War, Uncharted, get into there quite easily, but a lot of first-person shooters have been very, very important to me, I guess you'd say. Like, I look back through generations of consoles and things that have come out, and I kind of pinpoint the shooters that kind of defined the generation, you know? Like, I look at the PlayStation 2 or something, I look at Black or Killzone or something, so... Yeah, I don't know, it's my favorite genre, I guess. I'm interested to know, because I know it's probably not your guys' favorite genre, but I could be wrong. So it's interesting to see what you guys actually think about them, to be honest.
It's certainly not my favorite genre. That's for
No,
sure.
I didn't think so.
I mean, I've played through a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's a bunch of different genres of games that I won't touch every game that comes out or whatever.
Sure.
But I mean, at least look at most games that are
Yeah.
first-person shooters. A lot of the time, they're AAA games.
Sure.
Anyway, with the first-person shooter genre, I mean, the first-person shooters can sell whole consoles though. Like the Halo series itself is what got me essentially onto an Xbox, and a lot of my friends onto Xbox when they first came out.
Cool.
And that was a huge first-person shooter for me when I was a kid. Did you ever play any of that, Nick?
Halo?
Yeah.
Yeah, day one, bud. Of course.
That was the first time I ever set up consoles to do LAN or whatever to do to connect it to each other so we could do 8 people, 4 against 4.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, that was a huge thing for me. I remember that. The first person shooters were the best for group play when I was a kid. Like you could get a bunch of people onto a couch and play GoldenEye or play Time Splitters or play Halo or whatever a lot easier than you were going to get them to play Gauntlet Legends or Zelda, which is a first player or a one player game, right? But that's what I loved about first person shooters was just the camaraderie that you could get when you were a kid before the internet was around even.
Right.
You could get so many kids together who just wanted to play that as much as possible and just kill each other and be the best.
Yeah, I think some of my favorite games of all time, most important games to me of all time are first person shooters. Immediately, Team Fortress Classic and Counter-Strike jumps to my head. Obviously,
Half-Life.
I've talked about it a million times. I was in clans. Half-Life, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Half-Life was it was the first game I played on PC when my mom got one. And it had been out for like a year and a half by then, but finally got into it. And yeah, dude, there's the immersion I got from it and how first-person shooters just you feel more in control than a third person or something like that.
Yeah.
The third person game, when you turn, you have to see the person's body turn and stuff. When you do it in first person, it's instant. It's 1-to-1. You're like, all right, that head is going exactly where I fucking want it to.
If it's well
and you
made,
just have so much control over it.
Yeah.
And I've always been really good at controlling those games. Maybe not with aiming online and shit like that, but with, like I said in Doom, jumping over rockets and dodging them midair and
feel
crazy shit
comfortable
like
with it,
that.
right?
And Mirror's Edge, I'm the same way. When it comes to maneuvering around a world, I prefer to do it in first person. I prefer to play driving games in first person as well.
Really?
Same with some flight games. Yeah, I just control much better in first person than I do in third, for whatever reason.
Like in a cockpit cam on a driving game?
Yeah.
Really? That's
more like a hood.
that's
cam,
what I use. Yeah, so I guess we're the same. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And I find that I see things a lot quicker happening in the first person view.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
You're more
I think
in it.
the level of control is what really grabbed a lot of people to it. Plus, it's pretty easy to wrap your head around it. When you're like, okay, my head is the camera.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why it gets so big.
Sure.
So what's your favorite first-person shooter then, Nick?
I don't know, man. It's hard to really rank something like that. I have different categories.
Most important one
favorite
to you.
single-player camp. Most important one would be Half-Life, the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Because it spawned so many others in the mods and stuff, like Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat, Team Fortress Classic, that really took up probably a good 9 years of my life playing those games online and forming friendships with people online and in real life based around those games.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I have ever done that, right? Like, I felt like there was a community behind that as opposed to just playing a game,
Right.
which fucking blew my mind at the time. But this was also at the dawn of the internet, and I'd just fucking gotten a computer with the internet hooked up to it, and the whole thing all at once was kind of a magical time.
Yeah.
So I think that holds a really, really special place in my heart. But I do think that they have evolved immensely since then. So do I think Battlefield 3 is a better and more competent shooter than Half-Life? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I do. It's graphically obviously leaps and bounds above it. It controls super smoothly, and you can do other than you can shoot in vehicles, and there were vehicles in Half-Life 2, but it didn't control like this. And obviously, like the evolution of games, they've just been getting better and better. So it's hard to really compare the two.
Sure.
Do I that's why I'm like, I don't know what my favorite is. Because, I would way rather, I could say Half-Life is my favorite game, but I'd rather play Battlefield right now than go back and play that for the 15th time.
Yeah, it's fair, I think.
You know what I mean?
That time's been gone. You had your time with it. And
Semantics, I
got
guess.
everything
I don't know. It's
from it. Well, yeah, true.
If they remastered Half-Life 1, though, would you say? Would you
They
rather
did.
go?
They kind of
if they
remade it,
just
right?
Recently,
The Black Mesa
remastered
thing.
They did. The Black Mesa thing. It's a totally fan-made one. I played through it, and it was
Wow,
cool.
I never even.
I
knew
started
that.
playing through it and I got
How long
stuck
did
on
you-
a
how
level.
long ago did you play through?
Played through it maybe 2 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah, sounds
And
about
would
right.
you rather go back and play that over Battlefield 3?
No,
Nope.
I'd rather play Battlefield 3. But I think, well, I mean, I've played through Half-Life 1 fucking 20, 25 times in my life, right?
Yeah.
No surprises anymore.
No surprises there anymore. At the time of it came out, though, fucking revolutionary. No games were doing shit like that. Like that giant three-headed pronged monster thing that comes down and hits you whenever you make a sound, and you have to like throw grenades in directions to distract it and sneak around. That was never done in a first-person shooter or most games, to be honest. Like they had a lot of little gameplay ticks like that, but I could go on all day about Half-Life. Other notable first-person shooters that were fairly important. I'd say Halo was a huge one because, yeah, it had pretty graphics, but it was the first game to map throwing a grenade to just a button press,
Yeah.
and that was huge.
Yeah.
Huge. That changed the entire flow of gameplay, where you could just run around and throw a grenade whenever you want. That was fucking sweet. Well, before you had to press like
Yeah,
the main
switch to
thing
it.
was you press a button and it pulls out this arc thing. Like most games had like this like line. You see a sight line that is like, and you change the arc, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw it there. And it just takes like a good 5 seconds to throw a grenade.
Yeah.
Now it's instant, and you can stick them to people.
Yeah.
Fuck. Game changer. Game changer. Everything. Seriously, everything copied that after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Even the Medal of Honor series was doing that afterwards. Everything was doing that afterwards.
Everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the evolution of first-person shooters has certainly been going on for quite a long time. But
Yep.
the thing that I really enjoyed most about it, I think, was the community, and I think that the people that got together to kill their friends was the best part about it.
Well, that's the other thing. Like I think GoldenEye, obviously, I have to talk about a little bit because I loved it so fucking much. But the reason I loved it so much wasn't because it was a fucking gem of a game, right? Rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I take them off and I'm like, Jesus, fuck, what's up with the controls in that thing, right? Like I had a lot of fun playing with my friends. More fun than I've had with probably any other game playing local multiplayer.
Right.
Yep.
Ever, other than Mario Kart, maybe.
Yeah.
But you go back and play that now, and like, yeah, so many people would say that's my favorite shooter of all time, right? If you grew up with it, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be like, yeah, GoldenEye, top of my list. I had so much fun playing it. Go back and play it now, and use those stupid little left and right C buttons, the yellow ones on the side, to sidestep,
Ugh.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Hold
Are you
L
fucking
to
kidding
bring
me?
up your reticle.
Yeah, and then it's inverted and you can't change it. Like, fucking shoot me in the face. But back then, it was the norm, and we all got so fucking good at it because we just, you know.
That frame rate, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that frame rate, though, what was it 15?
But you didn't even notice it. Like when you think about it now, you were like, I couldn't tell you what 15 frames looks like on
I
that
couldn't
game.
tell you what a frames per second was back then, to be honest with you. I didn't give a shit about stuff like that, right?
That game just played the way it played, and
You
I
just
shot
dealt with it.
people and they
Yeah.
died. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that thing was a piece of fucking garbage. Like, but a lot of the things on there were not the best. Like, it's not like they were just like little 3D kind of like blocks moving around a space, and you got
When
to
you
shoot at each
crouch
other.
walked, you floated.
Yeah,
Your legs don't even move.
yeah.
Nice.
But I don't think like see these things weren't important at the time.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, oh, I couldn't tell you what my favorite of all time is because there's just too many different variables. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the okay. My favorite is Half-Life. Sure. Do I think it's the best? No.
But why is it your favorite though? Because of what came from it. It's like the Beatles of first person shooters
Yeah,
for you.
it
You
spawned
love
a
it
good
because
9-year.
So many other things came out of what it did.
That, and it was a revolutionary game that really blew my mind in terms of storytelling. Right, the first time you fire that game up back in the day, and you just
Oh, the story in that game is
you
fucking
do a
insane.
fucking 10-minute tram ride and just listen and
Yeah.
like, go through the scenery and the place. It set up such a feeling. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
this place it made me feel like it was real and it existed,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And there's just scientists going about their daily lives, hanging out in the coffee room. That kind of shit never happened before Half-Life.
No.
Right? And so, yeah, that was a very special game to me, and I recognize that, too, early on. Because I played GoldenEye before I played Half-Life, and it's not the same. You don't get that going through the single-player GoldenEye or any other first-person shooters, for that matter, at that time period. You just
Not
don't.
an experience.
And GoldenEye had a set story and
Right?
everything,
You got to think, before Half-Life, it was Quake 3 Arena. It was Unreal Tournament. It was Doom.
Yeah.
These didn't have stories, and those were like the only first-person shooters.
Yep.
Right? And so for Half-Life to come along and then add fucking platforming sections and little tiny puzzles to do, bam! Game changer.
Yeah.
Very special.
They were taking nods from adventure games and other things like that, and putting it into a first-person setting, which wasn't something that people did at the time.
It grew the industry.
It did.
It changed the industry.
Yeah, changed games on a whole.
And that's why it's very, very special to me.
It's a good call. It's a good shout out. And that's what I kind of wanted, I guess, out of this topic, is that not necessarily to talk about the first person shooters that are the best ever made or whatever, or the top first person, like top game mechanics or whatever, but just to talk about things that are special to us about those games that are not necessarily something that those people tried to do in the game, like GoldenEye. Like, the game isn't necessarily something that's like, AAA best first person shooting experience, but
Memories.
we all, and so do tons of other people, really enjoy that game and really enjoyed the time that they had with it. And I think that that's something very special about those games, the community that you can get, and the.
I mean, I still hold that I hold the standard that Perfect Dark's a better game than.
Yeah,
GoldenEye.
mechanically, certainly a much better game, but you're not going to get the amount of people who say they love playing Perfect Dark that are going to say they love playing GoldenEye.
That's true. I had just as much fun playing Perfect Dark with my friends as I did GoldenEye, probably a bit more.
Probably more,
because you could still you could team up with friends and go against bots in that game, which you couldn't do in GoldenEye. We had so much fun doing that, setting up little trapped rooms with the laptop guns and having like the insane bots come after you and shit. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
it was super cool.
Yeah, I liked all those games, all those old kind of crappy games, mostly because of the people that I got to play them with, I guess, and the fun that I got to have with those games, not necessarily because of how good they were made or how well they were made or how crappy they were.
I mean, I got to give a shout out to Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah,
because that before Half-Life was the first game that I ever landed. And it was fucking sweet. I went over to my buddy Adam's place. It was only 2 computers, but we landed between me and him. And I had never played an online game before or anything. So, like, I was like, I don't know, 9, something like that. And I was like, wait, I can go against you on my own monitor while you're in the other room? What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, it blew my mind. I didn't think it was real. We did it, and it blew my mind. Like, it was a game changer for me.
I remember doing that with Warcraft. And I couldn't believe it. It's like, wait, we can play Warcraft together?
Right?
That's insane.
Yeah. Actually, okay, first game I ever landed was probably in the early 90s at my school.
Right.
And it was, I don't know what it was called, but it was like one of those old computers. It was all green and black or whatever, and it was a top-down view where you controlled these little tanks and had these little pillbox turrets that you could set up, like a little real-time strategy almost.
Right.
And it was at our school, on our school computers, and I would go to the computer club after school, and the kids would like the older kids set up like LANs, and I'd just jump on and start playing with them. That was super cool.
Yep. Tank battles.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know what it was called. Super, super old school. There's like, it was one of those monochrome games, like where there was no color at all, completely devoid of color on those old Apple computers.
One of like the first LAN capable games, probably.
No.
Yeah. No, you don't think so?
I know not.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Evolved from one of the first ones.
Yeah, the first LAN capable wasn't a game, but it was like sending blips on a DOS. It's like boop boop. Whoa, we made them talk to each other. That's all it was. They sent little pixels. Boop boop. That's cute. Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Is
Word.
there any other closing
Well,
statements?
what's your
you guys
favorite?
have? Oh, I'm sorry.
Throw us under the bus.
My favorite would be Unreal Tournament. I think the first
Ooh, good
first
shout.
Unreal
Nice.
Tournament.
Yeah.
is probably my favorite one. It was the first one that I played online, and the first one that I like wanted to be the top guy, I guess, at it. And I wanted to beat my brothers at it, and I wanted to beat all the people online at it. And I got that competitive flair from that game. And then I got Counter-Strike quite soon after that, and it carried over quite heavily over to that. But I never was as good at Counter-Strike as I was at
Me neither.
I was.
So.
I was.
But,
Yeah.
I
was like, that was like during my Ender's Game period, like where I was firing on all cylinders when I was like 13 years old or whatever, right? And I was just fucking owning them.
Game
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. And then I got older and everything regressed. And now I'm okay. Glory days are behind me.
And you should have blew up that planet when you had a chance.
Yeah, you should.
Oh, I did. I fucked that planet up, man. Clan complete overkill. What up? Check my website out at GeoCities.
Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, when did that go under? What, like Y2K?
I was still playing it in the early 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. I played it this year.
Jesus Christ.
I play Counter-Strike a lot.
Oh,
It's
like
just
CS:GO or like the original?
CS:GO, obviously. Yeah, not the original. I don't think there are
don't
any
think there is.
1.6 servers. There might be, actually. They're probably just all
Some hardcore.
third world countries and shit.
Yeah.
Really poor places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our topic for today. If you enjoyed that shit, make sure you click the like button. Don't forget to comment. Let us know what your favorite first-person shooters of all time are and why you enjoy them. Or don't, and go fuck yourself. I don't care. Check us out on Facebook at Official DUDEPOOL Gaming, or Facebook.com/Official DUDEPOOL Gaming. On Twitter at DUDEPOOL Gaming. From us to you, we're the DUDEPOOL crew, and adios, amigo. We love you.
See you guys.